Welcome to the first ever episode of the G&B Show. This is a father-son podcast. Obviously, I'm the father. This is my son. Yep. Grayson, do you want to give an introduction?
Hi, so I'm Grayson. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 5th grade, and I'm into sports. I like to play basketball, and I actually do swim team, and I'm on a team, yeah. And then I actually have a swim meet tomorrow. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. So I'm Ben. I am Grayson's father. I work at a software company, but I have lots of other interests like music. What else am I into? Making things just in general.
Like out of your shed, out of the wood.
I have a workshop.
Yeah.
So I do lots of different things. Including recording music, which is why I have all this gear. So when we had the idea of doing a podcast, I thought, why not? Because I have all this equipment. I haven't ever produced a full podcast before, but I thought it would be fun because Grayson and I have some very good conversations.
Yep. Usually at night we usually talk about finances and proper health and being healthy and sticking to what you should do,
Yeah. So these are just capturing conversations that we normally have. And some of these topics that we're going to cover, like personal finance, these are things that I'm just getting into. I don't claim to be a great financial advisor or accredited or even qualified to give any advice. But as I learn more about finance and investing, the way that I learn is by teaching Grayson just what I've learned. Because I haven't been doing this for very long. And so Grayson has a big head start ahead of me.
Yeah, I really just wanted to learn because I've heard about the stock market maybe a year ago, but I didn't actually pay attention to what it was. And but ever since last couple months, you've been teaching me about it, and you've given me advice and you've even given me a website that I can use, which is a simulation of the real stock market where I can technically buy and sell stocks, but it's with fake money. So, but it's basically it gives you the same experience as buying and selling real stocks. Yeah. But
When you tell everyone what the website is, how can they find it and get started?
It's called Investopedia.com. And so you basically just fill out your email address. You just use an email address, and then you pick a username, and then you can log in. And then the kind of annoying thing though is every time you want to log back in, you have to recite your whole email, and then you have to go to your mail or Gmail, and then they send you a personal code, and then you have to type that in to access your account.
You do that every time you sign in?
Yeah, usually.
Do you know what that's called? Multi-factor authentication. That's a different topic.
Well, yeah, authentication, telling if it's really you trying to log into your account.
Yeah, you don't want anyone hacking into your account and finding out what you're investing to.
Yeah.
So how are you doing with your investing so far?
I'm doing pretty good. I've made a couple $1,000s.
So at the time of filming, this is May 20th. And if you know anything about the stock market, it has been a very eventful month.
Yeah.
So to come out ahead, I think is pretty good. I mean, this is a special time where Trump's, what did he call it?
The tariffs,
but it was Liberation Day at the beginning of April. That tanked the stock market. Yeah,
the stock market just crashed completely, and then that's when I actually bought some stocks because popular companies like Apple, which is an example, was around $190. Wow. So that's when I bought it then, but now it's worth $212. So I made $22 off every single share that I bought.
So I only really started picking stocks since Liberation Day. I usually invest in large mutual funds. So do you want to explain what a mutual fund or an ETF is?
Yeah, sure. So basically, like a mutual fund or like an index fund is basically like a popular like name for one is called S&P 500. And so the reason why it's called like 500 is because you buy one share for like around how much, like $500.
S&P 500 is about just under $600, I think.
Oh yeah.
Now.
So like you can buy one share for like that much, and then when you buy it, it's pretty cool. It actually gives you technically some shares in every single, like the top 500 most popular companies at the time.
So that's a really safe way. I think it's safe to start investing because you're investing in 500 companies and these are the top companies.
Yeah, so it's a very low chance that they'll actually go down and stay down. But something that isn't that like stable is crypto.
Yeah, so crypto, we can talk about crypto in a bit, but the S&P 500 basically tracks the top 500 companies. So if in general the economy is doing well, then the S&P index is going to go up.
Yeah, because it's measuring the top 500 companies, and usually since those are usually going up, the value of S&P will go up too. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if those big companies do go down, then that also means that you can lose some money.
Yeah. So since Liberation Day, that's when I decided I was going to pick some stocks. So some that
like the individual shares.
Yeah, so I invested more in Amazon because Amazon was really hit because in theory they would have been very much impacted by the tariffs because pretty much everything on
Amazon is like imported from another country like China, Mexico, European countries.
Yeah. So after Liberation Day, Amazon stock tanked, so I bought some of that. I bought Nvidia because Nvidia was hit a lot as well. Basically, they all went down.
Yeah. So. Nvidia went down quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. But now, a month on, you said that you've made a good amount of money.
I've made around $8,000 off my account.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good. I've had about a 30% return. Without going into the numbers, I had about 30% return in a month.
The only reason I'm reciting my numbers are because it's fake. I wouldn't be reciting them if it was real life.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about crypto is that while all of this was going on with the stock market,
how was crypto doing? Because I didn't really check on crypto. I mainly checked on stocks.
Well, I can't remember when. I think it was before Liberation Day that Bitcoin surpassed 100,000.
Oh wait, yeah. Now it's over like how much?
It's 106,000 today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it dropped into the 70s. High 70s was the lowest point.
Well, yeah, because that's just kind of how crypto is, you know.
Yeah. So it went into around this like 79,000, I think, when it bottomed out.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
So also in school, in like social studies or like geography, we're doing essays off a topic, and my friend, he actually chose to do an essay off crypto, and then so basically he researched crypto for a while, and he was talking about Bitcoin.
He can teach me something about it.
Yeah. And crypto, I would inform him every day because like he doesn't really use Investopedia that much because like with
real money.
No. He doesn't do that much like investing even on the simulators. But like, yeah. But so usually like every day I would inform him. He'd be like, how's Bitcoin doing? And sometimes it'd be up, but sometimes it'd also be down.
Yeah.
The highest I told him when it reached over 100,000, I was like, hey, it's over. Bitcoin's over 100,000. And he was like, really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like only like 2 weeks ago, it was at like 95,000.
Yeah. I mean, with Bitcoin, let's see how much gains I've had just from Bitcoin, because I kept buying it.
Like really small amounts.
Yeah, so I've made about 20% overall, but that's over the past, let's see. So in the past year with Bitcoin, I've made about 50% return, which is insane.
Yeah, it's just insane how crypto can, like, in Bitcoin especially, can go up like that much.
Yeah.
But I think Bitcoin is definitely the most well-known cryptocurrency, because like I feel like if you asked anyone, just like, hey, can you name one cryptocurrency? It's almost definitely, it'd probably be Bitcoin.
I mean, I can't name many others.
Yeah,
I can probably name, I have Dogecoin, which is a mistake.
Wait, there's this one that I checked on Investopedia. I can't remember what it's called, but it looks similar to Bitcoin almost.
In value, or?
No, not in value. It was like the logo and like the name looked the same almost.
I should know a lot more about it if I'm putting money in it, but
yeah,
I don't. Should we give a market update for today?
Sure.
So have you heard about the news so far this week?
Not
with
really.
How it's gone. So last week was a really good week in general for the stock market.
Yeah.
I think it was every day last week, S&P 500 had some gains. This week, though, I think yesterday it went down for the first time in a week. First decline in 7 days. A lot of that was driven by this news about, now this is going to be kind of hard to explain. I actually had to look it up to understand it myself. So there's this thing called Moody's. Have you heard of Moody's?
Can you explain it?
So Moody's, supposedly, it's a credit rating company. So do you know what like a credit rating is?
I'm not like bank account credit rating.
So
what do you mean?
Individuals can have a credit rating, and that tells lenders how trustworthy they are,
I've heard
or
of
how
like
safe it is
people's
to them.
credit, like
Your credit score.
yeah.
So I didn't know, and maybe I should have known, that countries can have a credit score or credit rating.
Well, then I'm pretty sure the U.S.'s would probably be like negative, like whatever, like.
So actually, Moody's is one of these companies. I think it's a company. I don't know. It's some financial institution, and they had the USA at a rating of a AAA, and that's the highest.
Wait, but I'm pretty sure the USA's deficit is like at like trillions of dollars, though.
Exactly, and that is why they've downgraded the US's credit rating from a AAA to, I think that's a AA1, and they said it's because of the rising national debt, and there's concerns about interest rates being too high, and some of these rumors of tax cuts, which means that the country is going to make less money through taxes, and that's just going to make the deficit even worse.
Yeah.
So because of that, and you're exactly right, that's why they've downgraded the US. Now, I actually don't know what that means to the average person, but the market reacted.
Like
Stocks
the
went
stock
down.
market.
Yeah.
Well, looking at this chart here, it only looks like they went down like a couple %.
And that's the thing. That's what I've learned about following the stock market, is that you get a bit of news, like today it's this Moody's thing, and then the market reacts immediately. And then tomorrow, there's going to be another bit of news, and the market is going to react immediately. So that's why tracking the stock market every day can be stressful, because you're just following all this news. There's so much drama. Trump says one thing, and then it just has an impact on the whole market. But you could just ignore all of that. Like if I just never looked at it for a year, I check in a year, in a year's time, it's probably going to be up. That's what history tells us.
Yeah. Like based off the just overall history of the stock market.
Exactly. So that's why a lot of investors say you should be investing for the long term.
Yeah, instead of trying to just be like, that quote where it's like, don't be a, what was it called? Don't be a pig. Like where it's like don't be greedy with your money. Like, don't, if you see a stock maybe going up, maybe you should think about selling it. But it also can be risky if you sell it, because it can go up more, but you're also risking for it to go down.
Yeah.
And for you to lose money.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Oh wait, but there's two certain companies I want to talk about.
Okay, go for it.
So you remember that company I told you about, Kindly?
Yes.
Kindly.
Yes.
So
you should have told me earlier.
Yeah. So on Investopedia.
Is it Kindly or Kindly?
I'm not sure. I think the pronunciation is different for different people. But yeah. So basically, there was this company that I came across. So Investopedia is really useful. It has these different tabs. It's called like, you can look on your stock account to see what stocks you have and how they're doing. You can trade, and there's also a research tab. So the research tab, the first thing that pops up is the most traded stocks. So I'm pretty sure a couple weeks ago, when I was in class and we were allowed to just be on our Chromebooks, so I was checking. I just checked Investopedia because I was like, oh, I want to see how I was doing, because I also got my friends into it. So like, yeah, they were also checking. So I was like, oh, I might as well check too. So when I was on the research tab, the first thing that popped up was this company called Kindly or Kindly. It was up 600% at $15. So, and yeah, it was at the top of the most traded stocks. Oh, it's up now.
Yeah, so we're just looking up Kindly MD.
Yeah.
I think it's Kindly because it's like I guess we
can say Kindly.
The healthcare.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, so yeah, it said it was up like 600%, which I was like shocked about, because I looked over just the history of today, and like, yeah, it was like, I'm not sure how much it was valued at, but like, it was like maybe $7. No.
It was less than $2.
Yeah, it was probably less than $2, and then it just skyrocketed in one day.
So in one day, it went from just under $4, $3.90 up to $13.
Yeah, which is over 400. Yeah, it was more like 400 to 500%. But yeah. So yeah, I checked it, and I was kind of shocked. I was like, what is this company? How is it up this much in one day? So then I was like, all right, I should buy, but it might have been a bad decision, because the next day it dropped to $7.
Yeah.
And dropped to $6. But the next day it did go back up to 14. Yeah. Which it like doubled. And then I was just like, all right, I think I'm gonna wait it out. And then it did pay off, and then I sold it at like $18.
You sold it?
I bought like 100 shares, and I sold like all 100. But there is this other company that didn't go as well for me. So it was also in one of the most traded stocks. It was up 200% in one day. I was like, after I found Kindly, like I was kind of like, I'm gonna try to find another one of these. And I was like, I came across that one. I can't remember the name. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it was valued at 70 cents per share. Like, I came across this when the stock market was closed. So I was like, yeah, but just that day it was up 200%. So I was like, is this going to be another one of those companies like Kindly?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I think I'm going to buy. I bought 1,000 shares in it. So it was like $700.
Well, yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah. But then the next day it dropped to 20 cents.
Yeah. That's my Dogecoin story.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh no. I was like, okay, what should I do? I haven't checked on it in a couple of days though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in that situation, so what I did with Dogecoin, because in 2022, I think, that's when Dogecoin was in the news, because I think Elon Musk was talking about it. I was told by a friend of mine, who now I know never to trust again for stock tips, but he told me to go and buy Dogecoin.
Oh, no.
And it was around 75 cents.
Okay.
And then literally the moment I bought it, almost down to the like second I clicked the buy button, it dropped to 20 cents.
Actually?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
just with the click of a button.
when that happens, though, now I'm just holding it. So I'm just, and I've actually bought more since then, which could be a really dumb move. But it went down to about 15 cents. So I just thought, okay, if I keep buying while it's low, then that kind of reduces the cost basis of the whole thing. All right, shall we move on from finances, because that was quite a good
good talk
segment on the stock market.
Yeah, the B&G show.
So is there anything else you want to talk about in this episode?
Maybe some other topics that we've been covering recently. Yeah,
so I think just some things that we enjoy talking about. I've gotten into cooking more fairly recently. It's probably been about 2 years now where I've learned how to cook.
Yeah, I've also been interested in cooking more,
Yeah, and Grayson
I've been able to cook my own meals,
Grayson cooks his own meals. And I think we started looking at the actual ingredients of what we were cooking.
Yeah, because I used to really not give that much attention. I used to just be like, all right, I'm gonna cook this. Or like, hey dad, can you cook this? Or like, hey mom, can you cook this? But now I'm actually like turning it, and I'm like, all right, let's look at the nutritional facts. And then I look, oh, does it have an over amount of calories or sugar or sodium or something that might impact my health? Mm-hmm. Which wouldn't really be that good. But now I am eating them, more in moderation. Mm-hmm. I think everyone should pay attention to what they're eating, because it can be very beneficial to the health. Because if they're not looking, it can actually widely impact how it is
I think most people,
how you are.
Yeah, most people probably don't pay attention to what's in the food that they're eating.
Yeah.
And that has a massive impact just on your overall health.
Yeah, because in the US, it can be kind of bad to, not trying
we
to
live in the US,
not trying to shame how the US how the food is made, but
not shaming the FDA at all. But do better.
Can we not get in trouble, please? But yeah, it is kind of compared to European countries or that kind of stuff, it can be more unhealthy here. And the bad thing is, we've said before, if it's cheap, it's usually bad for you.
I think that's probably that's probably a good general rule.
Well, all around the world, really.
Yeah. I think the way that the food industry is, particularly here in the United States, and we live in South Carolina, I think that the food industry kind of does a lot to mass produce cheap food, and that's kind of what most Americans eat. But in order to mass produce it, you have to have processes that it's over processed.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
because it's easier for the factories, to mass produce these products.
Yeah. So food and health is kind of something that we talk about.
Yeah, but we're not trying to say that it's bad. Well, we just say you should pay attention.
Awareness.
Yeah, and
be aware.
Yeah, be aware of what you're eating. Because say you're eating a bag of chips that has 500 grams of sodium in it.
Yeah.
That's
don't eat that every day.
Yeah. Especially not in between meals,
Yeah. But what did you recommend last week that I loved?
What was it?
The first time I had it. Popeyes. We went to Popeyes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. So basically, I recommended Popeyes, which I'm pretty sure probably everyone has heard of. It's a fried chicken restaurant. And then I told him, hey, why don't we get Popeyes? And he was like, what's Popeyes? Well, and I was like, it's a fried chicken place. And he was like, okay, sure, let's go. And yeah,
It was good.
Yeah.
It was very good.
I got him to try their spicy chicken sandwich. Not advertising.
Yeah. This episode is not sponsored by Popeyes.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future.
Yeah, but it was good. Yeah. But it was very good in my opinion. I like the fried chicken. I think it has a nice spice to it. I think the flavor is really nice.
So the question everyone wants to know: Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
That really depends though.
Depends. That's
for spicy. I'd say Popeyes. I'd say fries. Chick-fil-A only if they're like crispy and like seasoned well. But the Popeyes fries can also be really good if the Cajun seasoning is properly on there and they're cooked properly. Like if they're also crispy. So it's honestly, I'd say Popeyes probably, but Chick-fil-A is also really good.
What I loved about Popeyes was the crunch.
Yeah, the crunch was really good.
The crunch was insane.
Yeah, like I don't think you can really find that in any other places. Maybe y'all have found it at a different place. Oh yeah, you guys. Maybe you guys have found it at a different place.
So southern.
Y'all. Yeah, southern. Did you just have to point that out?
I didn't think I've ever heard you say.
Okay, I'm cutting that.
All right. Well, no, you can leave that in.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And for a first episode, we just didn't really prepare that much. We just got back from the swim practice, and I got back from the gym. So I'm not really... I don't know, polished or ready to do this first podcast, but we did it anyway.
And I'm kind of tired because
it is pretty late. Yeah. And
because swim practice is pretty hard, to be honest.
Yes.
Because we swim a lot.
Yes. So let's wrap this up. So we want to wrap up the episode with a segment called The One Thing. We'll see if it sticks. But what's the one thing that you're excited about right now?
I'm probably excited about hanging out with my friends because we have a long weekend. We actually get out. We don't have school Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So we have a 4-day weekend, which will be really fun. And I think I might be able to hang out with my friends for some time, which will be pretty fun.
Yeah. I'm excited about this podcast and just seeing how this turned out.
Well, yeah, I'm also excited about maybe uploading some new episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope that this continues for a long time.
Well, how often do you think we should post these?
I think every other week is probably a realistic. I mean, if we can do weekly, that would be good. I just think that's going to be
What if we
we
try to do 2 every week? Because, I want moms for 1 week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for listening. If you made it to the end of this podcast.
Yep.
We are probably going to have this up on YouTube. So you're either watching this on YouTube or listening to this on whatever the podcast app you have.
I don't know if we can do that.
We'll still need to figure out how to do that. But this is all a big learning journey. And we are so happy that you're here to see how it goes.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
That was good.
Yep.